Brooklyn. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. What y'all want? Rolling. Go to cedar. Stash in a dash. Hold two heaters. Block eye. Put holes through beaters. Ghetto fast. Throw through cheaters. Ballin'. Brooklyn Dawn. Addicted to Chris. Hooked on Dawn. 50 G's.
Buy this car to drive to work. Drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work. Drive to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today, Sam Harris, Dave Smith. The rivalry is finally here. I can't wait. It's going to be entertaining while talking about one of the most tragic events happening in the world right now. Before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, and donate. Alright, so Sam Harris recently was criticizing Dave Smith for some of his foreign policy takes. Anthony, I have no idea what the fuck you're doing, but you are beating my ears in. Pause. Anyways, Dave Smith was on Rogan as of recently. We watched it. We reacted to it. YouTube clipped us from being able to do so. Or, sorry, Rogan. They clipped the video. It's no, we can't upload it. He copyrighted it, whatever. But Dave was saying a lot of things about foreign policy, and I was like, all right, make this fucking idiot understand what's going on over there. I guess Sam Harris saw the same thing, but, you know, he's all in favor with destroying the world. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It seems like you don't need some sort of religion to want to destroy the world. You could just destroy the world for whatever your fucking motives are. You know, a lot of people say he's Zionist or whatever. I don't fucking know. All I know is he can't, for some reason, that dude can't find a war to disagree with, bro, apparently. In regards to, like, the war on terror, he can't find one that he's like, damn, this is too much. This is wrong. From my experience of the guy. You know, and a lot of it's he's blaming Muslims for a lot of it. It's weird. Very bizarre. The most extreme elements of people using the religion of Islam, that's... he has a beef there. He's somehow overly focused. But right now, as far as Israel-Gaza is concerned, you have a state that, or a country that a lot of people call the Jewish state, right? And that means religion, along with ethnicity. But let's be real, a lot so to do with religion. And they are absolutely massacring another type of people. We'll say Arabs, Palestinians, whatever. So Sam has to have a problem with that, right? The whole problem was about, like, yo, people using the name of religion to slaughter other people and recruit people and to enforce some type of way of life on other people, right? That's one of Sam's biggest problems. And that's happening in this situation. I wonder what Sam feels about it. Well, if you watched any of Dave's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Sam Harris is mad about it when Dave was talking a lot about foreign policy, I think we can guess why Sam Harris is mad at Dave Smith. Yeah. He also insulted Rogan for something that I've already seen for years and years, but, you know, Sam Harris didn't see it when he was guest spotting on those shows on Joe Rogan's podcast, but I was seeing it the entire time. He gives pillow arguments and no pushback to whoever the fuck is in front of him. That is absolutely the case with Joe Rogan. Unless you insult weed or science or something like that, then he gets a little mad, but other than that, he just goes along to get along, and you could say whatever the fuck you want in front of him. That's a true critique, like, that's a real critique, but here's why I don't take it so as so important when Sam Harris says it, is because he was on the show and once again received zero pushback for some of the ideas he was saying. At least not from Joe Rogan. Maybe other people did, but not Rogan himself. Thus, it's like, yeah, when you're losing, then you're going to start complaining, bro. Fuck out of here. But anyways, more importantly, let's get to the shenanigans. Dave Smith has a response to Sam Harris's reaction to Dave Smith's appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast that I also reacted to. I'm reacting to all of that right now. God damn it. I hate politics. All right, here we go. Hopefully the volume's good. They got that catchy intro, bro. That royalty-free but catchy.
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to a brand new episode of Part of the Problem. I am Dave Smith. He is Robbie the Fire Bernstein. How are you feeling?
Dave's
buddy?
hair be looking crazy though.
I'm doing
real.
well. Back from Colorado.
Shit goes straight
and,
up. It's weird.
Podcasting with you. All is well in the world.
Got
How
like
were the
Chinese
shows out
hair.
there?
Oh, it was a blast. It was really fun. A bunch of fans showed up for the first night, which is shocking because it's out in the middle of nowhere, and it's nice to have their support when you're in liberal cities and spewing my nonsense. So it was a lot
I'm
of fun.
marinating
It's the
ribs
first
while I
headlining
watch
gig I've
this.
done all year, and
it's
new
having fun.
materials cooking along. So I enjoyed it.
Listen, no offense to this guy or Dave and their touring comedy thing. I never watched either of these guys stand up or anything. I'm sure they're funny if they're pros at it, whatever. But I mean, Rogan does stand up, so whatever. Point is, I want to get to the shenanigans. So I might be skipping through. Once again, I have not even watched a second of this video, so I don't even know
Hell
when
yeah,
it starts.
dude. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm out here at the
Yeah.
maybe that. And then
Is Kid Rock no room with Kid Rock?
it
You
is
know,
a
might have
state of America. Then that. It was just perfect. That you
Okay.
just opportunity to. It's all so bizarre. Anyway, it's been a fun week. I got the coming off the week after a Rogan appearance is always just like a nutty thing. It's really unbelievable.
It's a money booster.
Just no, and I've used so many shows, but there's just nothing like Rogan's show. The reaction to it, how like and it doesn't even make sense. Like the numbers don't even quite justify it. Like it's the biggest show, but it's not like you'd think doing Pierce Morgan or doing Tucker should, okay, maybe it's only a third of the reaction, but it's not anything like that. It's like Rogan is just like 1,000 times more than any other show. You just, every little thing you've said gets put under a microscope. And
You out here rooming with Jordan Sheridan, bro? It's with the stains on the ceiling and shit, bro. What's going on, Dave? Rogan getting you fucked up, bro? What happened?
Rogan interrogates him on every little point he just said.
Rogan doesn't hook you up, bro, like in a fancy hotel or whatever. Got fucking water stains on the ceiling, bro. It's fucked. All right, whatever.
it took like this time, it was almost like, I was like, oh, wow, this is actually 8 hours with Daryl. And I mean this, it's like
Where's Sam Harris
friendly
happening?
competition type way that it bothers me so much that Daryl generated so much more controversy than I've ever generated in any of my appearances. Like, oh man, it eats at me. It's like, come on, dude. I was on I think I did 2
What?
Tuckers and like 15
have
with
no
Hal
idea.
Percy. From my latest Joe Rogan appearance is that I said I kind of agree with Daryl Cooper. It's just like, oh, they're just mocking me with this. It's like,
fuck
come
is
on,
that?
I've said lots of crazy shit. I must have said crazier shit than any of that.
Well, I've
gotta
said it
try
before.
harder.
I don't think that you say crazy or take irresponsible enough opinions, and it's time to ramp up on your anti-Semitism so that the market,
Oh,
the only
excited
way.
about
The
you.
guy.
I
Okay,
gotta
the
go
history
first. I'd
guy.
be like, damn. And today, I woke up to see that
Sam
once
Harris.
again, much like the last time I was on, I got a response from Sam Harris, which I do just, I guess it's my guilty
Sam was the
pleasure or
man back in
whatever,
the day,
but it's
wasn't he?
like I know
Super
on some
famous.
level that
Now
Sam
he's a
Harris is
fucking-
like
who the
just
fuck is
totally
Sam
humiliated
Harris?
himself and is kind of irrelevant. But at the same time, the thing on Twitter like blew the fuck up and it was trending and it was a whole thing. So it's kind of like
He's some
you
guy
can't
who
not respond.
thinks he's
He also
smart.
still
is
talks
too-
like he's the world authority. He lays it out
Yeah,
there as if you need to respond to him.
Yeah, it really well. That
I mean,
is
people
true,
should have
so maybe
known
I'm
when Ben
falling into
Affleck
his
wrecked
trap.
his shot.
But I do just
Really?
I responded with just one like little jab on
On
Twitter.
Bill Maher. On Bill Maher's
And
show.
then then I get people going like, oh, we'll actually respond to what he's saying or something like that. So like, okay, here we go. Even though he's not saying much.
That shit was like a eye opening thing for a lot of. I was already sus of Sam Harris, and Bill Maher, to be honest with you. But that's when other people woke up, when they're like, wait a minute, like I can be atheist and not a cunt at the same time. So I'm done with these two. Like I could just walk away from them. Like they're like pro-war, but they're atheists. Like okay, like I can do that and still be anti-war at the same time. You know, not be a cunt to the world and pick on particular religions and like in particular picking on certain religions. That's when Ben Affleck like started going at him. Like, bro, why are you guys picking out like particularly pointing out Muslims? Like everyone, a whole bunch of groups do some wild shit in the world, bro.
I think we're gonna hear Sam, and my what I think he's about is he's very much in favor of applying violence to
Muslims
I guess attack. Yeah, mostly it's Muslims, but
mostly.
I think it's
I think
like
it's just Muslims at this point. Have you heard to the
maybe
contrary?
well, not that it's contrary, but he talks about like almost like if there were a threat or something, right? Like he talks about like neutralizing threats and whatever in his mind, the way he
Yeah,
describes things.
yeah, but it's just weird, Jesse, that that America during that time period, you have the neocons who all project to be Christian, going out there and
Yeah,
blowing up the fucking world. He doesn't bring
yeah.
in any ideas of Christianity. He doesn't bring up anything in regards to that, even though there's a lot of ties to Christianity when that was happening. Straight up.
No, but he's just psycho. He's like he's I think he's not like coming at it like obviously not from a Christian side. He's just he sees things kind of practical, like
What?
very
What? He what?
like he's a he doesn't believe in stuff, right? Like it's all like physical. It's like physics when he describes his view of like what things are in your life and
That would work if he
death.
was intellectually consistent, but I don't. Sorry, I just don't.
Yeah, like
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think he's quite dishonest, especially in regards to foreign policy. I think he's quite dishonest, and this is.
okay.
I think this is going to prove it actually, because once again, the Jewish state, that's what they call it themselves, is destroying a bunch of Muslims with no real pushback. Right? What's he have to? He has to say it's a religion of violence now. He has to say that.
Yeah,
There's no way around it. He should have been saying it about George W. Bush,
right.
Dick Cheney, and the whole fucking administration. And then let's be real, the evangelical churches that support these wars because they think it'll bring Jesus back was a heavy hand, a heavy funder of all of that. But Sam Harris, where's this guy? What happened? Where are you? You want those guys that are supported by those evangelicals, and then actually, they don't dog whistle. They full on say, we're one of you guys. Right? Go march overseas and kill brown people all across the Middle East. It's bizarre. That's just bizarre actions. Some stuff is just mental gymnastic, phantasmagoria of, kind of like no skin in the game intellectual shit. Is there free will? I don't know. So when you shoot a basketball, it's about physics. It's not about, there's no willpower involved in it. Like, okay, that's a fun little topic for the back of a cereal box. But when there's skin in the game, right, actual skin in the game, kill the Muslims. Kill them. Because they're so radicalized, you have to fight back. You have to fight back. You have to bomb them. Which is absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. I mean, this guy said there is objective. He also believes in objective morality, but no choice at the same time. It's cereal box philosophy, bro, at best. But whatever. Let's keep it moving. Here we go.
It's like there's something guilty about it. Just feels like every time he says something about me, I just find myself in the position of feeling like I'm dunking on a retarded third grader. And then you dunk on a retarded third grader once, and it's like, I don't know, it's like being a cannibal. Like you get a taste.
Guys love these
and you're
words
like, that's
now.
the
It's
most
crazy.
fun thing I've ever done in my life. But it does feel like probably I should, be trying against someone a little bigger. But like, I don't know, it's Sam Harris. So like, fuck it, I guess I got to respond to it. Anyway,
Sometimes the
this is
retarded third grader doesn't even know that you
This is
dunked on
a
him, so
full-blown
it's no
diss
harm, no
track.
foul.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
feels
right.
good about
Full-blown
it.
diss
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, I guess there you go. So anyway, I should tell you, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. I do apologize for that, but I got to rush out. I got to get something to eat and then get to these shows, and then I got a early flight in the morning. But so let's start with this. Let's just play the Sam Harris clip, and then we could tear it apart.
Joe is a genuinely good guy who wants good things for people. But he is honestly in over his head on so many topics of great consequence, right? When he brings someone on to just shoot the shit about, how the Holocaust is not what you think it was, right? And maybe Churchill's the bad guy in World War II.
Just pause it already.
Or he's got Dave Smith,
Here, pause it and bring it back a little bit so we could hear the part about me. But like,
Just remember, he's an atheist. Just remember that, everyone. He's an atheist. He's no favoritism at all in any regard to any of these things. There's no totem pole of which religion's on top or bottom. They're all equally wrong to him, which means equal. And the reason why they're so wrong is because they cause harm around the world. All right, equally. All right, here we go.
it's just there's just no other way to like describe this. It is
A last-ditch
intense
effort.
dishonesty. I mean, just like it again, it's the thing that I always say. Like I was really
Strap in,
confronted
folks.
with when I
We're
debated
here
Chris
for the
Cuomo.
shit.
I've been, I've had this experience like on Twitter and stuff like that, but that kind of almost feels like it's a whole different beast.
We're here to shoot
But
the
there
five.
is something about like that. I think a lot of people who are decent people, who are regular people, almost have a tough time because there is like a naivete that comes along with innocence or something like that, where you're just like, oh, you're just a fucking liar. You're just very comfortable just lying through your teeth. Like, who are you talking about here? He's alluding to Daryl Cooper, I guess, but like, has Daryl Cooper ever gone on a show and told you to rethink the Holocaust? The Holocaust wasn't really what it was. Like, nobody's done that. The point, which by the way, I made the point, just by the way, the craziest part of on Rogan. So I say on the show, and I was like, yo, I'm like totally making this so clear that no one's going to be able to fuck with what I'm saying right now because I'm making such a narrow point. But I went, look, like when Daryl Cooper was on Tucker Carlson's show, the thing he said that generated all this outrage was he goes, I say this to my buddy sometimes to kind of prod at him. And, he's an Anglo, so he takes this stuff, personally. And I'm being hyperbolic when I say it. But I say to him, I go, Churchill was the real villain of the war. And then he caveats it again and goes, now I'm not saying he committed the most atrocities or killed the most people, but he was most responsible from this thing going from being a war in Poland to being the worst thing that ever happened in the history of the world that we now know as World War II. And then everyone who responds to that.
I don't know about the worst, but whatever. He also, robbed Africa like everyone else was doing too. He just, basically a war criminal cunt is what Churchill is, if you look into it just for a little bit. Or, Cecil Rhodes and these guys. A little bit of research, you're like, oh, this guy's a cunt too. But I guess the Nazis were so bad that I guess Churchill looks like a good guy now. Not in my world. Not with my morality. Sorry. But anyways, I don't even know what he's talking about in regards. I didn't see this guy on Tucker. I saw him on Rogan a little bit. I saw everyone going crazy about it. I kind of turned it into like a non-issue for myself. I'm like, I mean, it's an issue, where it's, kind of free speech, peer pressure type stuff, where like maybe there's no laws about it yet, but the peer pressure of like, yo, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't say that. Well, what if the guy believes it? Let him fucking say it. Would you rather him lie and hide his ideas from you? I'd rather just, once again, I don't even know the guy. I mean, I think I looked a little bit into his stuff, or like I watched like, I tried to look up a video. I'm just like, nah, never mind. I was like, it wasn't even like a full video, and I think I had to like sign up to like whatever, wherever he platforms himself, Spotify or whatever. I'm just like, nah, I don't feel like that. So I just moved on with my life. But anyways, here we go. Just trying to keep it a buck, be as honest as I can, as transparent as I can. Not for strategy, because I want to. Anyways, here we go.
Goes, he said
Kyle has
Churchill
nipple
was
rings.
the real villain of the war. And you're like, this is just already so dishonest. Like, and when someone says they're being hyperbolic, the point he's clearly making is like, Churchill mishandled the war. Okay, so take on that argument. But then anyway, people still just clipped that and went, Dave saying Churchill was the real villain. Like, you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, the levels of dishonesty are just crazy. But Sam will just go a step further and go, he's telling people to question the Holocaust. Just made it up. He knows that's not true. He knows nobody said that. Ian Carroll didn't say that. Daryl Cooper didn't say that. Has anyone ever gone on Joe Rogan's show and said, hey, listen, man, let's really look into this? Like, the numbers don't add up to 6 million.
Now, this is where, once again, if you have sensitive ears or your inner child might flip out or something, this is where you should probably walk away. But I'm going to say it. People should be able to question how many people died in the Holocaust, why'd they do it, the motives behind it. They should be able to question all that shit. Just like Sam should be able to question, okay, is there this thing with IQ, race, and behavior, which is something he did on Rogan's podcast, right? So it's like that should be allowed. They should both be allowed. Let someone go through it, and guess what? If all the information's correct and you have the evidence to back it, you could just mop up their fucking arguments if it's wrong. You're good. So if you're a sensitive person, you can't handle hearing like, Santa Claus isn't real or Santa Claus is real. Which I didn't mean to say Israel right there. Whatever. If you if you're okay with hearing controversial topics being spoken about out loud, regardless of the result, you just want to like hear the result, right? You're not like on a team about it. You're just like, what's the truth of the matter? Because I can't physically be there and like measure things myself. So what are historians saying? What are personal witness accounts saying? Yada yada yada. That's fine by me. Or with the race and IQ, like, oh, what's the experiments, whatever the fuck, crime rate, okay, crime rate and IQ scores, aka test scores, right? All right, fine, question it. Just prepare to feel pushback from the mature people of the room. So they can like have an actual intellectual discussion with each other. That should be absolutely fine. Right. Anyways, that's just my personal principle about the thing. Like, yeah, if it's just words and intellect, please go ahead. Anyways, here we go.
Or something like that. Has that ever happened? No, it's never
Sam
happened.
and Dave might
But
be
they'll
on that
just say that
idea too.
intentionally to just poison the well so that you already think of this as just like, oh, these are really bad people who are clearly sympathetic to Adolf Hitler and clearly don't believe, like, either they don't believe he committed these crimes or they're all for that he committed these crimes. It's just, I don't know what else to say about it. Just intensely dishonest because he's a liar. I don't know. Let's keep playing.
Or two.
Is that Tucker?
Or he's got Dave Smith, being treated as an expert on Israel and Palestine and the history of that conflict and the moral emergency that came to the world's attention on October 7th, and what is appropriate to think in the aftermath of all of that, right? Dave Smith is the only reason why anyone knows what Dave Smith thinks about any of this is very likely because Joe had him on multiple times to talk about it, right? He's a pure misinformation artist and on
Which
top
part?
of many others.
Okay.
And when
pause
Joe
there.
talks to someone,
Israel, Gaza, and I guess part of the history of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just saying, oh, well, he's a misinformation artist.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's supposed to pick out which portions, then debunk them in his highfalutin intellectual way.
Right.
Close your eyes, cross your legs, cross your fingers. That means you're meditating. No intention or will needed. Shut up. All right, here we go.
One like
Okay. I'm a pure misinformation artist. I mean, Sam just started this with a fucking blatant lie. I mean, why is that not misinformation? Like, goddamn, like, hasn't that term just been discredited enough along with Sam Harris and his fucking reputation? But like, I'm the disinformation.
More so with people, Dave, than the word itself. For sure, someone can put out misinformation purposely or not or whatever, but the person calling someone being a misinformation artist, like, yeah, they could definitely be sus in their behavior. Anyways, here we go.
Along with Sam Harris and his fucking reputation. But like, I'm the disinformation, I'm the misinformation, what did he say? Specialist?
Artist.
Okay, I mean, artist. Okay, you just started this by saying that who is questioning the Holocaust? So how am I pushing misinformation? And then, you know, look, like I said about this last time when he does the exact same thing, it's like, I mean, look, I'm not the expert. I'm not. And if people have a perception about me that I'm like the expert on the history of Israel Palestine, where like, I mean, I don't know. I'm explicitly telling you
Don't
that I'm
cop out,
not.
Dave.
And so if you have that impression, then I don't know what to say. But you know,
On Rogan,
the thing
he said
about
he was
this
on
is
the
that
Yemen thing like day
really,
one. He's like, he seemed like an expert.
On not the history. I don't think though. I think he was saying like the foreign policy, what's happening nowadays. Maybe he said the history shit too. I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure exactly. Either way, it's like I hate that. I'm just a comedian. I hate that shit. Say that before you start talking. That's all I gotta do. Maybe he did. I don't remember exactly, but like I'd be like, listen, I'm not some expert on this, but at the very least, there are some hefty questions that I'm not getting answers to. Not from the administration, not from the Israeli administration, I'm not getting these answers. Like, are you killing children by the thousands? And how are you trying to avoid doing that? Did you purposely sabotage the ceasefire? Like, those are worthy questions. But you can, the after the fact type shit where it's like, listen, I'm not some expert. Like, I mean, you could say that. It's just, I mean, it's probably because you could have just been talking in the moment type shit where you're not being careful with your words, you're just saying what you think. It's fair enough, right? Either that's just a little pet peeve thing. It's not really kill Dave on that point. But all right, here we go.
I don't have to be the expert because it's really easy to poke holes in Sam Harris and other liars' bullshit. I just know enough to poke holes in all your bullshit. That's essentially it. You don't need to be an expert to do that. In the same way as I wasn't a fucking, a virologist, but I could tell you that Sam Harris was full of shit the whole time about COVID. I could tell you that lockdowns were going to have way bigger costs than benefits because you don't really need to be an expert to do that. And what he means when he says that I'm presented as an expert is me and Joe have conversations. That's really what's happening here.
Come on.
And he's furious about it because the shit I'm saying is resonating with people. And I do have really good arguments. And you don't have to be an expert to have really great arguments, as it turns out. I'm proof of that. And so, then for him to go on and say that, so this was the only thing I said on Twitter that I was like, Sam is correct that the only reason people know who I am is because of Joe Rogan. And I said I really should have earned it the good old fashioned way by having my mother create the Golden Girls. I just do think there's something funny about someone born with a silver spoon telling somebody else who's like a self-made guy that they really aren't. The only reason anyone knows who you are is because of Joe Rogan. It's like, first of all, that's a huge reason why people know who you are, Sam Harris. That's also like, so what? Yeah, that's right. Joe Rogan blew me up. That is true. Okay. The only reason why people know who Joe
That's a
Steinfeld
pause,
is
Dave.
because
It's a
of
major
Johnny
pause.
Carson. You know, and the only reason why people know who almost everybody is because
Bro,
they got some type
that's
of
on the
break.
list, bro.
But the point is,
How do you bring up? He brought up Johnny. Brought up Johnny Carson too. The thing everyone makes fun of Rogan for being.
Bro, Joe Rogan blew me up, bro.
I'll come back to it. All right, here we go.
Joe Rogan blew me up. That is true. Okay. The only reason why people know who Jerry Seinfeld is because
Like
of
a tire?
Johnny Carson. You know, and the only reason why people know who almost everybody is because they got some type of break. But the point is, then you got to do something with it. And so if I hadn't done, there's lots of people who have been on Rogan who didn't, you know, like get a big audience afterward because they didn't do anything with the opportunity. So anyway, it's all just so pathetic and stupid. But you're like, hey, if I'm such a misinformation artist, Sam, so take on one thing I said. Like, it's unbelievable these people don't feel the need. Like, they think they could still play in this dumb old game where you just smear someone, but you have nothing. So fucking take on one thing I said.
That's what I'm here for. Am I not getting that? I thought I was gonna get him roast. Like, all right, Sam, I'm gonna go through your history of all this shit, and I'm gonna fucking tear it to pieces. Maybe he's not in the space to do that. He's not in his whatever he has studio or whatever. He was on the road, can't do it. But I'm sure you could just Google shit and just be like, yeah, Sam Harris has said this. Sam Harris has said this. Sam Harris has said this. On and so forth. Like, where do you think Sam Harris is going with this? Like, where do you think, like, his actual beef with what I was saying? Where do you think that's at? And it's like, oh, neocon policy. He likes neocon war policy. Let's be honest. Anyways, here we go.
It should be easy since I'm, you know, maybe I'm just such a talented artist that you can't figure it. But like, what's the misinformation? What have I gotten wrong? And then immediately, you know, the way he, it's so funny because so many of the people who would kind of like position themselves as being critics of like the woke progressive regime, but then they have the exact same attitudes that like were what the way he said it, what would be appropriate to think after the moral crisis of October 7th or whatever. It's like, yeah, I know, Sam, it sucks that you don't get to be the dictator of what the rest of us are allowed to think and talk about. But this is
I mean, it's blatantly, it's neocon shit. It's 9/11, and your point is narrative, right? They say 9/11 after every fucking breath, right? After every other word, it's fucking 9/11. They're saying it, and the tragedy, and 3,000 people died, and on and on and on. Again, we need to go invade Iraq. And the intellectual Sam Harris is like, yeah, we do. People that had critical thinking at the time were like, yo, why Iraq? Because they have weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, proof? Look, we made some designs over here. See these 3D images? Yeah, it's somewhere in there. Sam's like, see, look, they got pictures. We need to go to war with Iraq. We end up in Iraq. We find out there is no weapons of mass destruction. Sam Harris is still saying, well, there's a lot of angry Muslims there that need to go because these extremist Muslims they're all over the place. So we need to keep spreading this war further and further. Where even Ben Affleck's like, yo, shut up. And then apparently the world said shut up after a certain amount of time. Along with some of his other, you know, quote unquote intellectual thingies. But
That's real psycho.
yeah,
Is
it's bizarre, actually. Bizarre from an atheist to have such favoritism in certain exchanges. It's kind of bizarre. But all right, let's keep going.
a new day. This is a new world. And if you want to come take me down, then you got to make an argument, dude. Something. What did I get wrong? Point to something I got wrong. You want me to point to something you got wrong, Sam?
Yeah, do it.
With your dumb fucking, oh, if you change all the variables about COVID and the vaccine, then I would have been right. It's like, yeah, but when you don't change the variables, you were fucking wrong, dude. It's like, I don't know. You said you said you didn't care if Joe Biden had children's corpses in his basement. But I'm the misinformation artist.
Didn't hear about that.
I don't know,
Jesus.
Rob. What else can I say to this here? He's not making an argument. People are like, "Oh, you just insulted him back." I'm like, "Excuse me, what am I supposed to grapple with here? What argument am I supposed to contend with?" He asserts that I'm a misinformation artist. I would say I don't think I am. I don't know. Any thoughts on this, Rob?
Yeah, that's what stood out to me the most. We've
That's
done
fair
a number
enough.
of episodes on this show where someone says something and then we take on what they said and tell you why it's wrong. We haven't done all that many episodes where we just go, hey, this guy's an idiot, and look, he doesn't have the credentials to discuss this, and so don't listen to him. Just believe me that I'm right and that more popular person is wrong. We've never done that. And so
No,
that's what really stood
of
out
course
to me
not.
is that if you wanted to take on what you said on the show, as opposed to just going, hey, it's reprehensible and why is this person looked to as an authority? And particularly if you want to defend Israel and Israel's current actions, and you think that you're such a dummy about what you had to say about it, why not give us the breakdown? I mean, if you're so smart and so right, why not contend with what was said on the show? You got 3 hours of Dave
has
Smith
he?
talking about Israel, not quite, maybe an hour
Was
and
this
a half
video
on
a
Joe
day or
Rogan,
two old?
and then you've got 72 other hours from debates. I mean, you could I could summarize the top 5 points for you, and then you could take them on. Do an episode. That's
Or
an
one.
interesting episode.
Do one. Take on 1 point. One thing I said. There's something real strange about this whole appeal to authority that is all Sam Harris
Especially when you
has.
say I'm the authority, and based off
Yeah.
of what? Who credentialed you as the authority?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, first of all, it's like, so Sam Harris, Mr. Rational, Logical Thinker, Mr. Against Emotional Thinking and for, like grounded, sober, rational thought. All he can cling to is a fucking logical fallacy, the appeal to authority, as if that means you're allowed. But then you realize like how much this argument falls apart. Like, first of all, Sam Harris, from what I understand, is a neurologist. I mean, I think Brett Weinstein's like made a whole argument about how he's not even that. Like I don't really know. I don't remember. He explained it to me once, but I don't really remember. But whatever.
Sam
Let's
Harris
just say
and
it's
Tom
like,
on the
okay,
legacy
so
of Christianity.
so you're a neurologist. Well, we're not
I got nothing.
talking about fucking anything in your field of expertise here, right? So are you allowed? Are you allowed to have an opinion on Israel Palestine? Oh, that's convenient. You are allowed. Well, you're not a fucking Israeli historian or a Palestinian historian. You're not the expert in this field. Like, it'd be one thing, it'd still be a logical fallacy, but it would at least be a more digestible one if like Benny Morris was like, I'm only talking to other historians who have written volumes of books and have, you know what I mean, like have
We might have to turn this into
dug
something.
through the primary sources and the firsthand accounts themselves. That's all. And you go, okay, well, at least like the guy has expertise in this area and he's only going to talk to other people with expertise in the area. By the way, he doesn't take that position, but I'm just saying like that would at least be more reasonable than you. Who the fuck are you? Some shit like I fucking if you're writing a book about how the human brain works, then okay, fine, which I read his book years ago on that topic. I actually kind of liked it. But like, okay, that's one thing, but you're not in your realm of expertise at all. So who are you to dictate who the fuck everybody else gets to have a conversation with? And that is, to be clear, that is what Sam Harris is complaining about, that other people are having conversations and they're recording them and putting them out for people to
My
watch
bad.
them. That's his beef. Okay. So take it apart then. Like, I don't know. My mom, a little bit about my family history, did not create the Golden Girls. I was not born into millions of dollars.
Call him a
I did
nepo
not
baby.
have all of the advantages in life that Sam Harris does. And I built, my
I was born
following,
rich, bro.
and we built
Still am.
our show during what I would argue was an age of pervasive misinformation. We're up again. We're basically taking on the corporate media, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry that is permeated.
Listen, that's very interesting, Dave, but I'm not here for this, okay? Now, fair enough on the point that, Sam Harris didn't put forward an argument for you to counter, so you're not just going to go into it. Fine. Do they play any more? They do. Okay, I'll wait till that point. If there's no, like, real argument about the topic, I might just play a clip of where Sam Harris is on this topic, just to hear his perspective, I don't watch Sam Harris, bro. I ain't looking for that fool. Anyways, here we go.
Created by what I would call
No,
misinformation
it is.
artists. Okay. And like if I'm correct about this, then man, this isn't just like one guy who went on a podcast a few times. This was like this entire apparatus. And you know what we had to do was we had to tear apart their arguments over and over and over again. That's what we had to do and make like compelling, tight arguments for why the claims that they're making are bullshit. I didn't just get to say, oh, they're all misinformation artists, so shut them down or whatever the end goal here is. It's like, no, you have to actually take them on. You have to, take on what they said. How many hours have we spent doing this? Playing the clips, responding to the claim, doing research on the it's like Sam Harris just feels like he can do none of that and then just say, I'm above all of it. It's fucking lame. And there's a reason why this shit doesn't resonate with people. Okay, let's keep playing the rest of the clip because there's a few little bits in here that were great.
Trump or Tucker Carlson or any of these other guys who lie as freely as they breathe and doesn't push back against any of their lies. In fact, in Trump's case, really fairly energetically helped put his lies into the most plausible possible shape. It is irresponsible. I mean, it is directly harmful. Our society is as politically shattered as it is in part because of how Joe has interacted with information. Again, I don't think this is, I think a lot of this is inadvertent or maybe.
You're saying he's inadvertently stupid? Say it, Sam. You can say it. Let's team up, Sam Harris. Pause. No, I'm trolling. Rogan is a dumb fuck who lets once again, Hitler could make a comeback by just going on the Joe Rogan podcast. He might be able to turn his image around. All right, here we go.
Maybe all of it's
just pause again for a second.
But
Sure.
It's just his constant theme is that there needs to be a class of people that are lording above you, and I should be that class of person.
Very convenient. Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
That's truly his narrative. It's just an appeal to society can't just have freedom. There needs to be someone who can actually orchestrate, make decisions, disseminate the information, and then conveniently, I guess the process should just be Sam or whoever Sam anoints for that role.
Yeah, again, which I think we've made this point before, and I don't say this as like a blind lover of democracy, but there does seem to be something so inherently anti-democratic in this worldview that everybody's just too stupid to figure it out except for you and a small cabal of people. The rest of us are all just too dumb that man, if Joe Rogan's allowing lies to be told on his podcast, then, I guess we'll all be fooled into believing them. And then how can you trust people to have the right to vote? This is like a total argument for aristocracy, right? Like okay, like the common person just isn't smart enough to figure all this shit out. And however you feel about that argument, I don't think Sam Harris would be comfortable making it. But again, these are all just, there's nothing here. There's nothing. There's not even an attempt to even pretend to be making an argument. It's just assertion after assertion after assertion. There's a little bit of psychoanalyzing, like maybe Rogan's not doing this intentionally, but he's allowing all these lies. He's taking Donald Trump's lies and putting them in the most plausible shape or whatever. It's like, again.
He does that, though. He does that, Dave. Sorry to burst the bubble there, but Rogan is a fucking idiot. You haven't figured that out yet. I understand. Or maybe you do know that, and you're like, because I feel like even in that discussion when we reacted to it, it seemed like Rogan was pulling the conversation in some weird directions where it's like, bro, shut up and stay out. Like this isn't. Man, I wonder what it's like to, fill in blank. It's like, damn, bro, but Dave's making a point, and Dave had to steer him back towards the conversation that they were originally having. Like, you could tell Dave was seemingly trying to get try to get to all these topics within the 3-hour time limit. It felt that way. Like, oh, I walked in with a purpose, which is to talk about this stuff on a giant platform. That's what I'm here for. And if Rogan says, man, what's it like being penguins, bro? Whoa. David would be like, whoa, we can talk about that later. Let's get back to the kids burning. Burning buildings, kids dying in it. Let's go back to that, Rogan. All right, so anyways, here's yada, 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 right? That's what it felt like a lot, like a decent portion of that podcast. Right? Yeah. So Sam Harris's point, once again, I already made the point, so I'm giving Sam no credit for it. Yeah, Rogan's a fucking lollipop, there to be licked by whoever's in front of him. And he will do nothing about it, bro. Someone could have came in after Dave and made the exact opposite points. And Rogan probably would have sat there with very little to no pushback. Even though he was there nodding his head with Dave Smith the whole time. Like, yeah, man, yeah. I really do, like, that guy's that dumb, I think. Or, well, the majority of the dumbness might be from the position of trying to be nice to everyone, not realizing there can be a viper in front of you, Joe. Trying to pet a viper. You never know. Like, how do you know unless you have a real conversation with someone, like what they're about and shit? Doesn't mean if they're like assholes, you have to be an asshole to them. Doesn't mean that at all. You can be very nice to whoever the fuck you want to be. But to be there as just a pillow for them to lay their fucking head on, that's just bizarre. From not only a professional standpoint of doing interviewing and podcasting, to a moral standpoint when you come across something that's very, like, damn, that's kind of crazy or dark, or where could that go? And, like, man, what are the negatives of this idea? Instead of me just saying, yeah, sounds cool. Anyways, let's continue.
To say that, like, if you're looking at
It's unfortunate,
how
bro.
fractured
Unfortunate.
our system is, and looking how fractured our politics are, to even put some of that blame on Joe Rogan, and then it's not to
No, I don't blame
even
him.
look
I
at,
blame
like,
the audience.
okay, but why is it? Why is it that we're even talking about Joe Rogan in this conversation at all? Like, what is happening? Show me in some way. Like, I'm not saying you could scientifically prove this, but if you're gonna make the point that Joe Rogan allows lies on his podcast, it's like, compared to what? Compared to the corporate media? I mean, like,
not a good move.
You
dude.
just look. I said this when I was on the show with Joe just the other day, but it is wild to think, and I'm a little bit like, just happen to be the guy in the room for this. It's not a little bit. Just happened to be the guy in the room for this, but I did remind Joe, and I go, dude, how crazy is it? 4 years ago, as long ago as that sounds, or less than 4 years ago, I guess it's 3 years and change ago, right? The fucking huge controversy from our podcast was Joe Rogan telling young people to be healthy. Like, I'm not exaggerating. When I say this, I mean, this made it all the way to the president of the United States of America had to condemn the podcast that I was on because Joe Rogan advised young people to be healthy. Now, like, the point I'm making here is that I would any day, I would do any debate, any a trial, whatever, for against any person, with any judge, with any moderator, like whatever you want. And we will take the corporate media's track record on COVID versus Joe Rogan's track record on COVID. And I will defend Joe. I mean, there is just no, like again, these things that were seen as wildly controversial today.
I don't even know if that's saying much. I don't even know if that's saying much. I have no idea. Wasn't watching all of Rogan's episodes about COVID the whole time. I'm sure in the beginning he was for it, then later on was against it. That's my guess, right? Like, trust the science, man. And he's like, nah, never mind, there's better science. That's probably what he did. I'm guessing. I really don't know, to be honest with you. All right.
Including
It wants to
Fauci
be
or
on
Biden.
Joe Rogan's show again.
He's really
And Joe for president, right, guys? Am I right?
Mhm.
All right, let's see if there's another ad. Let me watch Sam again. Bro, I'm going right to it, bro. No offense, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm finding this
Well, they're not debating, and they're not even arguing any points. They're
and
just-
that's fair enough, right? Sam apparently didn't say anything like any arguments in regards like, well, what did Dave say that you think is wrong, Sam? I don't think he said anything like that. You know what? Let's look at maybe some of his points on the war itself, right? Israel Gaza, something I know a little bit more about than COVID. Right. Once again, that's one of those things I just didn't go crazy looking into it. Be real about it. But all right, let's see what this is. Check it out.
Of course, Israel has made some terrible mistakes in Gaza, and the recent killing of aid workers is the latest example. But this is the kind of thing that happens in every war. There are always friendly fire incidents where the good guys wind up killing their own soldiers, to say nothing of innocent non-combatants. Every conflict the U.S. has been in has produced horrors of this kind. We bombed weddings and funerals in Iraq and Afghanistan. Remember Pat Tillman? We killed our own celebrity football player. Killing anyone but the bad guys amounts to an act of spectacular self-harm, especially for Israel, which is held up to greater scrutiny and to higher standards than any other.
This guy's full of shit. He is full of shit. He is like, well, but you guys got to remember, this is war. And in war, it's just die. Innocent people, they die all the time. Come on. It's not good, but this is what happens. And Israel's the most scrutinized military in the world. Israel's so scrutinized by everyone. Full of shit. Full of shit, bro. That's probably all I needed to hear from this guy about this topic. And you can see which way he's going to twist it around in the oncoming minutes. I will start that from the very beginning.
Yeah, and he talked. In what we heard, he compared on the American side, or it sounded like he said a celebrity, right? He said the celebrity's name, so somebody we
Pat
can
Tillman.
know and recognize.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the bad guys, right? Like that's what he's comparing one to the other.
Well, here's the thing.
Nameless, like
Yeah.
bad guys.
Well, here's the thing. He's trying to appeal to Americans by pointing out some of America's blatant war crimes. In fact, Pat Tillman was friendly fire, right? His own team shot him and killed him. Some people say there's a conspiracy behind it. Who knows if they did that on purpose or not? I really don't know. My intuition leans towards not, like they didn't purposely kill him. Where I leaned towards, like what they purposely did, was hide the fact that he was killed by American soldiers. They were trying to hide that part. That one I think is for sure. Like that's a fact. Like they tried to hide that from people. Now, that's just an appeal to America to say you guys commit war crimes too. And it's this little soft, fake-sounding voice. You guys kill your own too. You bomb weddings and schools. It's like, does that justify what the fuck they're doing? Of course not. Only an idiot would fall for that type of attempted mind melting. Are you fucking kidding me? This dude's fucking special, bro. He's special. Says, Israel did something bad, but this is what happens in war. You know what America did, huh? America killed Pat Tillman. Celebrity football player, Pat Tillman. America killed them. They bombed weddings and schools. Oh, so that means it's okay Israel does that, huh? Fuck. And in fact, some of the evidence leans towards, well, I would say both do it on purpose, but there's a lot more evidence leaning towards Israel doing that shit on purpose. Because their arguments for it make no fucking sense. We just went over the ambulance with the ambulance drivers, the ambulance guys, the medical guys that thought they were responding to an emergency. They show up, get fucking killed, and that's it. 15 dead. They tried to bury the ambulances. And you're telling me that it's like, oh no, we thought it was Hamas. This is an innocent mistake. And then, a giant, once we were done shooting them, like a giant sandstorm just came out of nowhere, bro, and just started burying the ambulances under, 10 feet of dirt. You know what I'm saying? And their dead bodies that were perfectly stacked on top of each other. Yeah, the wind blew them on top of each other, and then, created this ditch in the ground, and the sand went over them, and then boom, they got buried somehow. We have video of this. This doesn't happen. Wait, John, they got fucking video? Fuck. All right, half of them were like Hamas. They like half these guys are Hamas guys. Okay, so like this is the craziest of it. First, they said they thought they were Hamas and rolled up with ambulances. Then they rolled up with ambulances with all their lights off, and rolled up on these fools in the dark and tried to and they thought they were getting ambushed. Then videotape comes out of showing the exact opposite, and they say, well, they were Hamas. Half of them were Hamas. I think they said 8 guys on there were Hamas guys all of a sudden. Once again, without evidence. Like it's baffling. But, and again, yeah, there's America, 100%. American, we bomb shit on purpose. Schools, it's blatantly civilian areas. Look, what is that? Is that a camera or is that it's an AK, isn't it? Well, it doesn't look like an AK. It's an AK right now, okay? In my mind, you can't prove it. You can't prove against in the law. You can't say you know what my mind was thinking. It's a fucking AK, all right? Let's kill him. All right. Come on, give me the order. Let me fire. Permission to fire. Yes. Yes. Like, sorry, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is already 44 seconds in. I'm like, this dude is about to try to spin a fucking fairy tale for me, isn't he? In a blatantly dishonest way. I mean, the callousness to be like, well, you guys kill too. Like, what? What? And those first statements didn't sound like empathy. We're like, man, they're doing some horrible shit. These are bad. Like, this is bad shit. Or what he would normally say if it was a Muslim, be like, oh, these are bad people. Instead, he sounded like a PR guy, where it's like, yeah, it doesn't look good when you do that, Israel. And this world's already stacked against you. Duh. I'm like, in what shape or form? These guys have been torturing Palestinians for decades. Expanding their territories. Bulldozing housing. The killings. Once again, the killings didn't start on October 7th from Hamas to Israelis, and then Israelis to Hamas. It didn't start there. These fools have been taking pot shots at protesters, killing 50, 60 people at a time. Sniper shots of children playing fucking sport, playing soccer or some shit in the background. But they're too close to the fence, so fucking take the shot. Not to mention Israel, Netanyahu and Israel funding these fools in the first place of funding Hamas. So it's like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm wrecked. And all that was happening before, like, once again, this video is, I think, a year old. All that stuff hasn't just started a year ago either. All these stories have been here for a long fucking time. And Israel has not been sanctioned by the U.S. They have not had to stand trial in front of the UN. If they would, the U.S. would veto it, which means the UN has no fucking power. Netanyahu's wanted in several countries, but they roll out a red carpet in the U.S. for, I mean, blatant, brazen war crimes. The one I just explained about the ambulance drivers and the medical guys, I mean, there is no other way to talk about that. People tried. I saw people trying on Twitter saying, like, look at that. That's an AK-47 in his hand. You blow the picture up, you look at it, it's a fucking shadow. It's his leg's shadow. But yet, they don't take back their tweet. They don't delete their tweet. They don't put a correction underneath their tweet. They don't do none of that shit. They just leave it there and move on and tweet about something else. Some of these accounts, these Batar guys or these Canary, whatever the fuck they're called. Brazen.
Remember, everybody we kill, by definition, is an enemy combatant.
Yeah,
By definition.
you just, what's the word? Post, damn it, what's it called? Like after the dead?
Mortem.
Is that the word?
Posthumously.
Posthumously, or whatever. After they're dead, just retroactively, like, change them to Hamas. They're Hamas the whole time. They look.
Yeah, that's our policy.
See that baby's hands right there? Those are grenade throwing hands. Only Hamas is built like that. That baby was gonna be in Hamas, I'm telling you right now. Fuck. Anyways, let's continue on with this. If he was in power, a potential war criminal. Let's be honest. Here we go.
Of course, Israel has made some terrible mistakes.
Mistakes.
And the recent killing of aid workers is the latest example. But this is the kind of thing that happens in every war. There are always friendly fire incidents where the good guys wind up killing their own soldiers, to say nothing of innocent non-combatants.
This fool is normalizing the most horrid shit on the planet. Holy fuck. Thankfully, no one likes this motherfucker. Thankfully. And probably because of these opinions, no one likes this motherfucker. Well, I mean, he should be liked, but, like, his opinions are fucking dog shit. No one likes his fucking stupid fucking opinions. He's been a trash can on foreign policy the entire time I've heard of this human being. This neuroscientist, now turned philosopher, foreign policy expert. He's been dog shit for a while. I'm just glad people figured it out. Like, fuck, I don't have to be a fucking warmonger and atheist. Like, I can just be atheist. I don't have to be atheist and a warmonger at the same time. Thank God for that. I get to walk away from this fucking idiot. Holy. Anyways, here we go.
Every conflict the U.S. has been in has produced horrors of this kind.
Embarrassing.
We bombed weddings and funerals in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, we still do it now in Yemen and all these other places.
We killed our own celebrity football player. Killing anyone but the bad guys amounts to an act of spectacular self-harm, especially for Israel, which is held up to greater scrutiny and to higher standards.
If he goes where I think he's about to go.
And under conditions that are objectively more challenging than any other nation.
They're held to higher standards? Bullshit.
He's lying. He's lying. I think he's lying.
Yeah.
I truly believe he's lying. Now, here's a circumstance for you, Sam. Stop funding Hamas. How about that? Oops, too late. Hey, go with the ceasefire Hamas went with. Hamas said, we're done. We will walk away. As soon as we go through phase 2, everyone gets their hostages back, we go our separate ways. No more Hamas around. As like the government or whatever the fuck. Or as the military or whatever. They disband in that sense. But then I was like, no, just keep bombing, keep going. No, Hamas, you're good, stay there. We need you as an excuse. Hostages, sorry, but you gotta die. We have to risk your lives. Because we need you to be in Hamas's hands, so we have an excuse to carpet bomb the fucking country, bro. To kill as many of them as we can. I truly believe that's the philosophy that's happening right here from that government. Not an expert, but I'm just saying, that's what I truly believe is the case. But Sam's like, Sam might be going to this place, and it's gonna freak me out if he's going to the place where he's saying, like, "Oh no, because Israel is the most critiqued government on planet Earth by far, obviously, duh." Because they're so heavily critiqued, I don't know what I want to hear what his reasons are for that, or how he came to that. But because they are like that, they wouldn't want to kill innocent civilians. They wouldn't want to kill them. That's why Israel is not purpose. Like they're not killing civilians on purpose. It's by accident. It's by accident because they're the most criticized country on the planet Earth. And if they mess up, they get held to a harsher account than everyone else does. And it's like, that's a lie. That is a lie. He is lying. And Dave, you should have played this clip for him. And you don't even need to say it. You don't need the counterpoints like I'm doing. You can just let it play, bro. His words by themselves are enough. I picked out 2 videos because I'm like, I wonder, like, maybe this video is only 4 minutes. There's no way Sam's going to say anything that I'm going to be like, okay, now we get a sense of his, ideas on this conflict. Sorry, on this genocide. Sorry, on this Holocaust. Like 4 minutes, that's too short of a time. So I had a 40-minute video ready to go. But apparently, he doesn't need 40 minutes. He needs 40 seconds to showcase where the fuck he's coming from. That's what it sounded like. Once again, he's got, a little over 3 minutes left. Let's fucking hear it. Let's hear it out.
Scrutiny and to higher standards than any other nation.
Higher
Under
standards.
conditions that are objectively more challenging than any other nation has ever faced.
Yeah, being the only nuclear power in the Middle East, yeah. Extra difficult. And everyone knows it, too. They all know it. And if anyone else tries to get one of these things, here comes the U.S. Like, what the fuck you doing, huh? Did you see Iraq? We'll do that to you. See Libya? We'll do that to you. See Yemen? We'll do that to you. See Somalia? We'll do that to you. See Africa itself? Like, damn near all of it, except for South Africa? Yeah, that'll happen to you. See South America? Yeah, we'll do that to you. Go ahead, try to make some nukes. Go ahead. Dare you to. Just give us the excuse we already wanted. Anyways, here we go.
Actively more challenging than any other nation has ever faced. Now, hopefully, Israel is busy learning whatever lessons it can learn to make fewer tragic mistakes. But none of its mistakes, however terrible, suggest that Israel is on the wrong side of this conflict, or that they should stop fighting before destroying Hamas. They are fighting an urban war against a terrorist regime that is doing everything within its power to maximize the loss of civilian life on its own side.
Now, what does Sam mean by that? Once again, I'm guessing. There's a couple of minutes left here. So I'm going to be guessing here. But something tells me that Sam means, like, well, when Hamas is hiding in the little girl's book bag, they risk the little girl. When Hamas is sitting at the dinner table with this one family here, they get that family killed. Hamas escapes, but the family gets blown up. I'm wrecked. I am absolutely wrecked. That's where I suspect he's going. They're using human shields. There's proof. There's been some evidence of Israel using human shields, like using Palestinians as human shields. Like directly as human shields, not hiding in schools, right? Not shit like that. But actually taking elderly people and saying, gun to their back, walk forward. You, walk forward. If you turn back, we shoot you. Keep walking forward. Once again, this is allegedly, ladies and gentlemen. But I think I've seen some evidence of this. There's doctors reporting from the area saying, like, at the time where Sam Harris is, right, a year ago, like, forget about the ambulance stuff. He didn't know about that one yet. But there's been swaths of fucking evidence. The numbers alone should tell you what's going on here. And, damn, what was I gonna say? Fucking, fuck. Damn, I forgot my point. Whatever. I had more examples in my head of some blatant "we're targeting civilians" shit from at least a year ago. Oh, the pagers. How about the pagers? Huh? And maybe more so Lebanon, but whatever, same difference. Lebanon, Gaza, I'm sure they happen in both. Now they use it as a mocking thing, right? Where Netanyahu hands over a golden pager to Trump after he won the election. You know what that pager means? They were sending out pagers with explosives in them and detonating them. You know who wasn't dying so much as compared to regular civilians? Hamas, who died mostly and got maimed and lost their eyes, facial scars that will never change. Their face will be fucked up forever. Death. Because guess what? There's a pager on the ground. Kids might pick it up and start playing with it. And then boom, it goes off. I mean, once again, this entire war seems to be broadcasted on the entire fucking internet. Like, everyone's seeing it. Everyone's seeing it. You know what I'm not seeing? Too many Hamas guys. I'm sure they're dying too. I'm not seeing as many as those guys dying though. It's crazy. I'm seeing way more civilians dying. In fact, the rate they're going at, the only ones left will be Hamas. If they keep going, it'll only be Hamas left. If you look at the cities and how leveled they are you telling me Hamas is in every single person's house? Everyone's houses? Is that what you're telling me? They're at everyone's fucking dinner table? Hiding under the beds? It's just some Nazi fucking shit I'm hearing from this guy, bro. Something tells me he knows better and he's fucking lying. There's some people where I listen to him and I'm like, alright, you might just be ignorant or whatever. You don't know what's going on. You play on a team, whatever the fuck. And then there's people that sound like devil worshippers, bro. And that's what this fool sounds like. Forget the atheism thing, bro. Sounds like a devil worshiper to me. I explained that before, what I mean by that. One of my other videos. Maybe I should make a video dedicated to just that idea. Because I don't mean some religious sense. It's the worship of malice. Of morbidity. Of hunty shit. Maybe not a dedicated altar, but your actual thought process actually dedicates time to doing harm in the fucking world. That's some devil worshipping shit to me. Or even on the borderline here, working really hard just to be apathetic about the world. That's another fucking problem. But I digress. Let's keep going. This guy's a fucking cunt. Let's keep it moving. But yeah, I'd love to see Dave just destroy this fool in front of everyone and banish him for good. Get the fuck out, Sam Harris. Get the fuck out. Go do something. Go do yoga in the Himalayas or some shit, bro. Give this shit up. Give the quote-unquote intellectual shit up. Give it up. Go away. Come back with a fresh mind. Go back to kindergarten, and we'll start from there, Sam Harris. Fucking idiot. Anyways, here we go.
Maximize the loss of civilian life on its own side. Okay, the lengths to which Hamas has gone to ensure civilian casualties.
By the way, Israel, there's, once again, heavy evidence that Israel, according to their own media, were killing their own citizens. On purpose. Did they want to shoot their own citizens? Maybe not, as far as like the soldiers go. But as far as what the commands were, like, yo, just kill, like, just shoot, kill as many as you can. Like, maybe not targeting Israelis, but like, if I can't tell, just shoot anyways. Because we gotta hit Hamas. We gotta get them somehow. So shoot through our own people to hit Hamas. There's people saying there's evidence that Israel, knowing that there's Israeli hostages in certain places, that they bombed the fucking place there. Because, in my humble opinion, this Netanyahu guy and those military, they don't give a fuck. The ground soldiers probably care, but they're following orders or whatever. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't fucking know. Maybe they think it's a worthy sacrifice or whatever. But Netanyahu for sure knows. Like, yeah, just bomb the whole place. But our people are in there. Fucking bomb it, dude. They stutter? Bomb it. That's what comes off to me. That's just, once again, my humble opinion. Let's keep it moving.
To maximize the loss of civilian life on its own side. Okay, the lengths to which Hamas has gone to ensure civilian casualties is unprecedented.
They're ensuring civilian casualties.
On its own side. Linger over this detail for a second. This gets my vote for the most perverse behavior in human history.
See, I thought he was going to make a detail, but he didn't actually make a detail. Name a story, name an event, name something, Sam Harris. Say something, like name a factoid, something. Name something where you're mulling over it. I have evidence of this. Something. I'll give him time, but like, you can't, let's hear him. Let's see if he says anything about it. Says any evidence, or he's just going to say that this is happening to brainwash people. Anyways, here we go.
No one else does this. Using your own people as human shields, relying on the fact that your enemy will care more about the lives of your own children than you do? How is it that so many people in the media and on podcasts, to say nothing of the activists and the college students and the TikTok zombies, can't see the asymmetry here?
Because no one's accepting that as fact, you idiot. That's why you dumb. He's fucking. This is like a dumb person, isn't he? This guy's like actually like, or he's lying so hard that he has no choice but to sound this stupid. Fuck, what an idiot. Fuck. Oh my god. This dude is trying to, with this fainty voice, is trying to tell an audience that Israel's trying to avoid the kids. They're only trying to hit Hamas. And that's why they blew up that school, because Hamas was using them as human shields. Inside the building, they're using them as human. So what? They knew Israel was going to bomb a building, and they stacked the kids on top of each other and used them as, like, cover? Is that what you're saying? How about the Cancer Institute? Or I think the last one in Gaza got blown up? What was that for? Was Hamas in there? Hiding behind cancer patients? How about there's American doctors that go and work in Gaza. You know that, right, man? There's all over the world, not just American, sorry. All over the world, there's doctors that go to Gaza to help patients out. No, Gaza was hiding in the other, or Hamas was hiding in the other hospitals, that's why. And then the big elephant in the room, once again. Netanyahu funded Hamas, you dumb fuck. So, like, that kills the argument. Like, the record is crazy. I can't believe this guy would say this. No wonder no one fucking likes you. No wonder, bro. Here we go.
It is everything. And everything we care about only exists on one side of this divide. It really is safe to say that no army has ever faced the challenge that Israel is confronting in Gaza.
Oh my dear
Hundreds
Lord.
of miles of tunnels, under hospitals and schools and mosques and homes, built to shelter jihadists, not innocent men, women, and children. The innocent men, women, and children are meant to stay in place as human shields to protect the tunnels. This is totally diabolical and totally new. And there's good reason to believe that the IDF has done a better job in waging this war ethically than we have done in any of our past engagements. That didn't.
Is there any more need to be heard from this fucking guy? There's no way around it, right? This guy's a fucking cunt. Clear as day. I can't believe him to be this stupid, so he's lying on purpose. He's lying on purpose. What? So what? Grandma's house was directly above a tunnel, and you know what? Fuck it. Sometimes you gotta bomb through grandma to get to those tunnels. Holy shit. Once again, there might be sketchy evidence about that. About any type of tunnels and shit. Maybe there is. I don't know. I don't know enough, you know? Either way, I know you don't shoot through a fucking nursery to get to a tunnel. You dumb fucks. Yeah, that's just not real. Sorry, I just don't believe that, bro. These fools are straight up bombing civilians on purpose, in my humble opinion. And not just Palestinian civilians, but Israeli, foreign, whoever. They get shot at too. They get bombed at too. Journalists bombed at. Apparently, someone said this. Who knows how legit it is, but something I heard that in this war, this genocide, allegedly, with Israel and in Gaza and all that shit, this is the most journalists killed in a war in, what did someone say, 200 fucking years? In 200 years, this is the most journalists dead in a war, allegedly. And once again, this isn't going across the world like this shit. It's fucking it's Gaza. A literal strip of land, a Gaza Strip. That's unbelievable. But they are killing in such a mass. They are killing and now they're dividing, resettling land, like retaking it over, and saying this is ours now. And then they're cornering these motherfuckers, and now it's going to be expulsion or death. And this guy's telling you, one of the most moral armies in the world. God, it must be so difficult for these soldiers to curve their bullets around the human shielded children and hit the bad guy. So they just got to shoot through the kid to hit Hamas. Ah, damn, they missed Hamas, and it was only kids that died in this one bomb. It was only just this entire family that died. Don't worry, we'll retroactively call them Hamas when we're done. That thing I said about they might kill all the innocent civilians till it's only Hamas left. They might be already thinking that there's nothing but Hamas left. Thus, we are able to kill them. We'll bomb your homes, push you back to the sea, into the Egypt's border. You'll have to sleep in tents, and then we'll bomb the tents. And then when there's enough of you out of the way and displaced and dead, then we'll use ground forces to invade you and start picking fools off one by one, which was already happening before this so-called war happened. The interesting part of this is that Sam's statement of what Israel's critics keep missing is apparently just that's the state party line of Netanyahu. That's the government's line. Everything that Sam is saying is their talking points, and he's telling us critics are missing those. It's like, no, they've heard those, and they're like, that's bullshit. I have a phone with a camera on it that shows me otherwise. I have a feed that shows me otherwise. That testimony that tells me otherwise. And Sam's like, nah, just listen to the Israeli military. Listen to Netanyahu. He's got the right story. And he tells other people they're missing something. He knows better. He's fucking lying. Which makes him a cunt / devil worshiper. Let's finish this out. Here we go.
Present nearly the same challenges. At some point, I'll have a military expert on the podcast to discuss these claims in detail.
Who's going to be the military? I wonder. Once again, another appeal to authority, which is false in the sense of a military expert is going to know more about the. Like, shouldn't you get a human rights person on here? All these human rights groups are saying something bad's happening here. Something really bad's happening here. The UN saying something bad's happening here. Whatever countries that want to prosecute Netanyahu are saying something bad's happening here. Doctors that go in there are saying something really bad is happening here. Like doctors that are known for being in war zones that try to help the innocent civilians. Right? They dedicate their time to going to a fucking war zone to help people. Some of them are calling this the worst shit they've ever seen. Anyone can make an argument like, damn, a kid caught a stray bullet, innocent civilian, 2 armies are firing at each other, and a kid got hit with a stray bullet. A gangbanger does a drive-by, shoots, hits a kid instead. People can make sense of that in their heads. But what happens when you have a sniper shooting and it hits a kid, not just in the temple, but then in the fucking heart? How does that happen? You tell me how that happens. I think it's the other way around, in this heart and then in the temple. How does that happen? So they get hit. Let's call it a stray bullet. They go to the ground. And then the sniper, I guess he sneezed. He shot him while he was on the ground too. Double tapped him. You tell me how that's like oopsies or Hamas human shield. Did Hamas eat any of those bullets? Did the bullet go through the kid and right to Hamas? Was Hamas in the area? How about some of those protests from before October 7th? Whereas people, unarmed, doctors, nurses, protesters, guys in fucking wheelchairs. What was it, 50 or 60 of them died? Was Hamas in the group somewhere? Not armed? That would hurt your narrative if that's the case. Like, damn, Hamas showed up in a peaceful protest? God damn. That would hurt your message, wouldn't it? Let's continue.
As I say in today's conversation, I don't think the war will end here. I don't see how Israel can stop before they destroy Hezbollah in Lebanon. In fact, I don't see how this war stops until they or we topple the current regime.
Hold
in
on.
Iran. Israel can stop.
Yeah. This dude is making hit songs, bro. He's putting out hit records. I am wrecked. Look where this fool's about to go, bro. I literally sat back in my chair thinking he's just gonna continue on with the same. He's like, no, we need to go further. I'm like, oh my god, oh my dear lord, oh my dear lord. This is an intellectual. Oh my god, he's a fucking devil worshiper, bro. He does have a religion, bro. Here we go.
Who can discuss these claims in detail. As I say in today's conversation, I don't think the war will end here. I don't see how Israel can stop before they
I don't see how they can just stop. They gotta keep going. Oh my dear lord.
Will end here.
Oh my god.
I don't see how Israel can stop before they destroy Hezbollah in Lebanon.
So they gotta go and they gotta take over southern Lebanon. They have to annex parts of Lebanon now. Oh my god. Like, this is legitimately just the war plans Well, it's the war plans with Sam's own sprinkles on top to make it sound nice, even though there's no way fixing it. There's no way to fix that. Like, Hamas is in the school, so bomb the school. Well, how come the rates in the somewhere 90 something percentile in regards to innocent civilians to Hamas people dying? Why is it so overwhelmingly innocent civilians? How is that possible? It's it's incredible. And now this fool is saying, let's move into Lebanon and do the same shit. I'm wrecked, and he's about to say Iran.
In fact, I don't see how this war stops until they or we topple the current regime in Iran.
Until they
Israel just
or we.
assassinated
Israel ain't doing that shit by themselves. That one they're going to need some fucking help with. They would need real help with. It's like, there's no, like, yeah, that's not a good idea, guys. Which is why they probably sit back and let the U.S. do it. Interesting, isn't it? This is so interesting because this video is a year old, and yet he's saying the exact foreign policy plan that they're like. Once again, they have basically wiped out. It's a kind of a done deal situation happening there. The people will probably have to flee, and then that'll be it, right? And then Trump will get his beachfront property that he's wanted for so long. The thing in Lebanon still going on, violating ceasefires with Hezbollah. That's also happening there. And then Iran. Trump gets in. What has he been doing? Been throwing shit at Iran. He's blaming the Yemen shit on Iran. He's building it up. Let's be honest. And once again, they're supposed to have some meeting over the weekend or something, I think. But or like a not in person meeting. But it's like, what are you going to offer them, Trump? The thing they might have wanted, you pulled out of the deal because of that. And as we've seen with ceasefires and negotiations with these cunts, these devil worshippers, they foil them on purpose so that they can keep bombing away. Let's keep it real. The ceasefire when Trump got elected was not for the sake of peace, because they broke it as soon as they could, maybe as soon as they rearmed, and Trump sent them enough money and bombs. So like, okay, now we're good again. Let's keep it going. They went right back to fucking killing. So I have no high hopes of anything. I leave room for everything and everyone, but I have no high hopes. Let's continue with this cunty, warmongering, devil worshiper. Here we go.
War will end here. I don't see how Israel can stop before they destroy
How could they
Hezbollah
stop?
in Lebanon.
Keep going.
In fact,
Keep
I don't
bombing.
see how this war stops until they or we topple the current regime in Iran. Israel just assassinated some Iranian commanders in Damascus, and now the world is waiting for Iran's response. Even if Iran doesn't respond, or responds in a way that's calibrated not to escalate things, after October 7th, I don't see how Israel can live with the current regime just whittling away on a nuclear weapon. It is the very definition of an existential threat. In any case, none of what I just said entails support for Netanyahu.
Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. I'm done. That's GG's for me. That's the GG statement of the fucking century. Everything I said right here, it's not in support of Netanyahu. It's like, what the fuck? You just laid out the exact same shit he lays out as an idea and as a plan. Come on, bro. Are you fucking trolling? Every evangelical that wants to watch the Middle East burn and so Jesus comes back, they're all saying the same thing. Every neocon in America that pledges loyalty to Israel or whatever the fuck, same thing. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. You're all saying the same thing, but it's nothing to do with an alliance with Netanyahu or nothing to do with being in favor of Netanyahu. Actually, let me say. Maybe he calls him like a war criminal, but like a good one, a necessary evil. Let's hear what say. I want to hear what he actually says about that.
None of what I just said entails support for Netanyahu or any hard right government in Israel, much less for the building of settlements in the West Bank. It's absolutely clear that Israel needs to sideline its own religious fanatics, and I've been saying as much for 20 years. But to equate the fanatics of Israel with Hamas is to once again fail to understand the problem of jihadism. We have to have some sense of proportion.
This dude's a lying cunt, bro. Yeah, that's it. Right. Dave, you should have just hit record, hit play on this, and just let it play, and not say a fucking word. Until Sam says all this out loud, here's what, if I was Dave Smith, here's what I would do. I'd start my stream or my video recording, whatever, and I'd be like, well, Sam Harris had something against what I was saying on the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, Sam didn't say anything, like make an actual argument. He just said, oh, Dave's bad because Dave's bad. I said, you know what? Fair enough. So you won't make an argument. I won't make an argument. What I'll do is I'll just play your video and just play this clip. Leave it there. Say, all right, defend this, Sam. Bye. End the video right there. Make him copyright you. Make him do something. Make him flinch. But yeah, Sam, say this in front of everyone. With all the reporting, all the internet coverage, all the journalistic coverage, all the doctors, all of it, all the fucking witnesses, all the videotape, all of it. Say this in front of them. And then tell them, and we can't stop there. In your fake soft voice, we can't stop there. We need to keep going to Lebanon and eventually destroy Iran, too. They're building nuclear weapons. Fuck. What a cunt. Anyways, this was supposed to be about Dave Smith versus Sam Harris, but once again, I'd say fair game with Dave. Sam didn't make an argument, so Dave's like, why am I wasting my time with you? And I said, you know what? I'll waste my time with Sam Harris. Pause. I'll play his clip and hear his arguments about Israel, Gaza, and see why he's so upset about Joe Rogan letting people come on his show and not giving pushback. It's like, if Joe Rogan let you say this on his podcast, I'd be like, cancel Joe Rogan, cancel his shit. It's time to walk away now. If you said all this shit on his, Joe is actually saving you by not having you on the show. He's actually saving you. He is saving your career, Sam Harris. Because if you get on there in front of millions of people and you say this shit, oh my dear Lord. Oh my fucking God. Yo. So be thankful, Sam. Yeah, it is what it is, man. And once again, Dave's been looking at all this stuff. He's been paying attention to the fucking internet. He's been looking at the news stories and all that shit. He reads antiwar.com. He knows all this stuff. From on-the-ground journalists to mainstream level people talking about these conflicts. Dave's probably seen a decent amount of this stuff. Sam, I don't know what the fuck you've seen. Apparently, all you've seen is Netanyahu's fucking teleprompter. It's the only news you read on this entire conflict. And that's sad, but you know what? With this guy, with Sam Harris, and my understanding of his history and all that shit, I'm not surprised. Not even a little bit. So, all right, there's your video. Subscribe if you like, comment, agree, disagree, tell me what you think. This is unreal, unbelievable. This should be a video on its own, but I didn't expect it to be this brazen. I thought he'd be clever about it, but no, he's just repeating Netanyahu, word for word. He's repeating the neocon talking points, the Zionist talking points, the U.S. government, the Israeli government, word for word, quoting them. He is Ben Shapiro on this topic. In fact, Ben has probably hit it a little bit better. Yeah, maybe not. I think Ben will just blabber a bunch of details at you to make it sound like it's different than Sam Harris's point of view, but it's not really. I think it's kind of the same. And you Crowder fans out there, you should check out a video that Ben did with Steven Crowder about Iran. Like, huh? Oh, he's a fucking neocon too. Got it. Like, he's down for the killing, the maiming, the blowing up, the lighting on fire, all of it. Because he's a cunt too. All right. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them. Donate. Doesn't go to me, it goes to other people. My link is at the very bottom, but don't worry about that. Check out all the links above that. Do it now. And with all that said, give this video, and definitely Sam Harris, a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.